Hello and welcome to the Impending podcast. We're your hosts, Sammy and Harry, and Harry just spat out his gum into a cinema ticket and then put it in his pocket.
That's not how your scripted line ended.
I know, I want to surprise you.
Your scripted line ended with, our names both end with the letter Y, because you said Sammy rather than Sam.
So, I'm rebranding. I've already been over this.
Rebranding is Sammy. I don't think that's a smart rebranding move. You're like a children's TV show.
No, but, okay, alright, we're not going to get into this, but, you know, I'm going to college. Everyone I've spoken to...
You want to be a new man, and the man you want to be is Sammy.
Everyone that I've spoken to...
If you're going to rebrand as a Samuel.
Everyone that I've spoken to, they've been like, Sammy, oh, that's a nice name. Whereas, like... Those same people have been like, yeah, Sam's a really boring name. I wouldn't like that one. So, I mean, like, it's been going
My
well.
God, they're brutal, aren't you?
I know.
Aren't you? Aren't they?
Aren't they? Anyway.
I had
Harry's got a Sammy story
about
the
name Sammy. Well, it's that my sister had a friend called Sam. Just regular Sam, not Sammy.
Sorry.
You know. And they, like, ordered pizza. And I think on the kind of Domino's, probably, app, you can specify your name, and then when you go to pick it up, it has your name on the board.
That's cool.
She didn't type in Sam for his name. She typed in Sammy as a joke. And then when they went to collect the pizza and went up to get it, he said, "My name's not really Sammy, by the way." And the person serving just looked at him like, what is going on? Just made it 100 times worse. I just didn't think he wanted to be associated with the name Sammy. He was more of a Sam kind of guy.
Well, I'm more of a Sammy kind of guy. Have you met me? Have you met me?
You would do the opposite if it had Sam on a kind of...
I'd be like, my name's not really Sam.
He had another great story, which is that he used to be an estate agent and also a postman. All of the fun jobs.
Wow.
And when he was an estate agent, he got like a call from this woman saying, like, oh, I want to sell this house. And basically he had to go to the houses and like... check out all the rooms and like make sure it was all mapped out perfectly and stuff, and take photos of everything, most importantly. And she said, I'm up in like London, but the house is in Worthing. I'll come and drop the key off and put it like in front of the house under a pot or something, and you'll be able to get into it. So he went to this house, and
did she actually put the key out?
We'll get to that. He went to this house and he looked at it and he was like, Christ, this is like Scooby-Doo's house. It was this kind of
Scooby-Doo's
really
house.
Creepy mansion. Well, not mansion, but big house. And
like a bungalow, or did it have like an attic?
It probably had 2 floors.
Oh, yeah.
No, it had 2 floors. I know that for sure. At least 2 floors. So he went up to it and these keys were there under the pot or whatever. And he opens the house. And inside the house, there is loads and loads of dolls.
Oh,
everywhere.
That's awful.
And he's like,
that's terrifying.
He's like, I hate being the person that has to go around this house on my own, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's my job. So he starts going around it, taking pictures, and he goes upstairs, and one of the doors is locked, and he searches for all his keys, and none of the keys fit, and he's thinking, that bloody woman. She has to give me the key to all the rooms in the house.
That bloody woman.
That bloody women. She has to give me the keys to all the rooms in the house, so I obviously can't get into them. So anyway, he goes downstairs and looks out into the garden and sees across the other end of the garden is this other house bit at the end of the garden. And he's thinking, that's also stupid because on the plan we were given, there was no bit at the end of the garden. And if there's a bit at the end of the garden, I need to also go down and take photos of that. So as he's looking at that bit, which he was never told about, he hears noises from above him.
Oh, God.
And realises he hears something which is almost definitely footsteps from the room which was locked.
Oh, my God.
And he's looking around at the puppets around him and the room he wasn't told about and thinking, oh, Christ. My phone's just buzzed.
That actually scared me. I actually jumped in
I'm
my
thinking,
seat.
oh Christ.
My phone's buzzed.
He runs out into the garden and jumps over the fence, runs back round to where his car was, gets in his car, locks it, just sits there for 3 minutes. Anyway, he drives back to the agency and tells everyone about it, and obviously no one wants to take this house now as their own one to go and take photos of. He's just told a horror story about it. And they think, well, let's try and contact the woman. And they try and contact the woman and they can't contact her, and they look her up and she's supposedly been dead for many years, and her husband. So they just pass the house on to another agency, and apparently, even though it's a really big, expensive house and they're supposed to take ages to sell, it's sold almost immediately to someone. And that's that story.
So there's two options here, right? Either A, go surreal, or B, there's someone very rich who is playing a very elaborate joke on the estate agents.
I don't think buying the house was necessarily the same pranksters who called up and pretended to be a dead woman. I think it was probably a prank or something to do with that, or maybe a scam which didn't go down as they thought.
What were they hoping to, like, rob the guy?
Oh, not rob him, but maybe just kind of like something to do with house sales. I'm not, to be honest, really literate in scams to do with estate.
Oh, Harry, that's my area of expertise.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a bit of a tangent because I was going to start off with before that at the end of this month I'm going to France.
You're going to France?
I'm going to France. That's
You're going to
crazy.
France?
You're so surprised by that. It's
on
on the list.
I've actually ordered Sammy's story (1). Harry's going to France (2).
Yeah,
So
that's like we don't usually order it that much, but those two were kind of meticulous. No, I think I'm camping in France, although I'm not really sure to be honest. 'Cause I go with my dad's family, so he'll sort it out. I've had my passport renewed for it, which is good.
So you're going to say revoked. It's been taken away.
By the Brexit police. I was about 10.
Dual nationality. Woo.
Yeah, I was about 10 in my last passport, so I had to get it renewed.
So they looked at the photo and looked at you and went,
when we went to get photos taken, we didn't get taken in a booth. Because we had to do something else as well. We went to this shop, so this guy just took photos of us. And my dad did too, because he also had to get his renewed. And the guy was having really brutal banter with us. Like at the end, my dad was like, "Oh, it's better than my last one." And the last one I looked like some kind of Eastern European criminal, and the guy went, "Well, in this one you just look like a regular criminal." and my dad, no, the guy who was serving us at the end said, "Well, that wasn't so painless, was it?" My dad said, "Easy for you to say, you didn't have to pay." And the guy said, "Well, easy for you to say, I had to look at your face." It's absolute brutal bastard.
oh my god.
So that was quite a fun experience.
What are you doing in France?
I don't know, really.
You said potentially camping.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Oh no, we usually go camping, and I think I heard something about it being camping in France. I've not been to France since I was like 4 or something, so to be honest, the whole idea of being in France will be a bit of a novelty to me. Don't speak much French, but they all speak English anyway, don't
My
they?
girlfriend got together in France.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there was that picture of like you leaning on each other.
Yeah, one of the teachers took a picture of us while we were asleep.
Yeah, and he kept winding you up about it.
Yeah, and then so I didn't. Fun fact, I didn't tell my parents about this for like months afterwards. So
God, I can't believe you didn't tell them.
But they wanted to see the video of the French trip. So what I did was I downloaded the video of the French trip. I edited out the picture of us hitting each other, which was in the video. I edited it out, and then I like put in like a fade effect because that's the effect used for like the montage of the French trip, and it was seamless. It was seamless.
That is.
And I showed it to them, and they're like, "Oh, that's a nice trip."
An inordinate amount of effort to go through to hide that.
I'm
pretty sure that our science
mortified.
teacher put that on there on purpose to
Oh
kind of
yeah,
wind you
intentionally to
up.
wind me up. I was like,
Yeah.
"Can you not?" And he was like,
That one time we were doing prefect duties because, we were doing prefect duties because I was a prefect because they chose me against my will, and you weren't a prefect but you hung out with us. And he walked along and he said something, winding you up about it, and just smugly walked off. Can't remember what it was though.
Classic
That's the most.
Mr. E.
Yeah, Mr. Oh, that sounds dodgy. It's like
Mr.
Exeter.
E. Before you go, wait, you're going to keep talking about France or you're going to go on to the next topic?
I was going on to the next topic
Alright,
before you
do that-
interrupted me.
Oh, sorry. But while we're kind of on the topic of names and Sammy, which we're not anymore, but let's pretend
Broadly,
we
Mr. E, that was a kind of
Broadly,
name
Mr. E, isn't it?
concealment.
So I rebranded from Sam to Sammy because I'm a Sammy guy. I mean, have you heard me? Of course.
Sounds
you
like
have.
you're saying you like sandwiches.
I'm a Sammy guy. Our friend, and me and Harry have made a rule about this. We're allowed to say people's first names, not their surnames.
Yeah. Or alternatively, maybe their surnames but not their first names.
Ooh, that's a tricky
Switch it
one.
up. Really difficult to keep track of people.
But so this I will be able to tell the story. You know our friend Daisy.
I know. Yeah.
She's legally changed her first name to Daz.
I heard about this because Evie was making a daisy chain, and she was like, "I've made a daisy chain." I was like, "I don't mean a Daz chain," and I was so proud of it. I mean, her nickname was kind of Daz before, to an extent. It was on like social media and stuff.
But no one actually called her it. But whereas now at NCS, I called her Daisy, and she was like, "Actually, my name's Daz." So really, she's
strange.
pulled,
I'm gonna have to call her.
She's pulled a legal card out on me and said, "You have to call me Daz."
She's going to file a discrimination lawsuit.
She's no one. If you know what, Harry, quick tip: if you have a nickname and no one calls you by it, legally change your first name.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it, isn't it? My nickname is actually Golden Eagle, and I'm pending on the government reply to my request.
Golden Eagle 1 has landed.
Exactly, you have to say that like
whenever you arrive 30 minutes late to a podcast recording session, Golden Eagle 1 has landed.
Exactly, and shut up about the 30 minutes. I needed to shower.
I was looking at my clock at 5:30 like, ooh.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, do you have any idea why she changed her name?
Daz. I don't know. I think maybe it's no one was calling her a right nickname. There's probably some reason behind it. I mean, if someone prefers a name, there's no reason not to change it other than people getting confused. But since Daz is just a shortened version of Daisy, like, it's understandable.
It's less syllables. It's more efficient. cold hard pragmatism.
You're filling out.
I'm going to change my name to Haz. You're Saz. It's so
I could
easy.
just be Sam.
Nah, Saz. It doesn't fit in with all the others. I think Saz is a name, broadly speaking.
Like Salazar.
Salazar. I'm pretty sure there's a Peep Show character called Saz, but I might be getting that wrong.
Oh yes, where I get all of my true like facts from. Peep Show.
About half of my knowledge comes from. But no, I mean, surely the best name changing we know is Kat.
Oh yeah.
Who changed her name as an act of defiance.
Yeah,
right?
she also changed her surname, but she changed her first name from Kat or Caitlin or something.
It wasn't Caitlin, it was Kat, and if you called her Caitlin, she got annoyed because that's not her name.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not now, but it wasn't then either.
And then she changed her name to Angharad because it's some Welsh name.
Yeah, and she wanted to have more of a Welsh identity and was annoyed that her name could have been from anywhere. Or indeed, was also an animal. But I think it was also, she was annoyed at her dad. She was like, "Screw you, dad, I'm going to legally change name."
It was like an act of defiance.
Really is a rebellious act.
What
if
a
I've
power
ever seen
play!
one.
What a power play!
I've never done that one. Like, I actually used to be called Edward, but I changed it to another British monarch name as an act of defiance.
I'm really annoyed because there's a story I want. I'm trying to find.
Stop dropping those headphones everywhere, you prick.
There's a story I want to tell, but
You're trying to find a segue.
I'm trying to find. No, the segues perfectly. I'm trying to find a way of saying it without doxing someone. All right, I know how to do it. You know,
just use algebra.
All right.
X, Y, Z.
No. Someone we know, and you may or may not know about this, Harry, changed their surname to the surname of an anime character that they like. What emotion does that make you feel? I can tell you the specifics afterwards, but what emotion does that make you feel?
Confusion to start off with. Curiosity as to who this is. I've got a few ideas. I mean, just that's something else, isn't it?
Well, it's something you would like. Okay.
I mean, you say that, but my second name is legally getting changed to Kirito because
you just love Sword Art Online.
No one is a bigger SAO fan than me.
Oh, don't short it. All right. I want to play a quick game. Actually, you're offered £10,000. You have to legally change your first name to a name of my choice. I want to see what names you wouldn't change it to. So let's start with Kirito, your favourite Sword Art Online character.
For my first name.
Your first name, £10,000.
Middle name for £10,000. First name, not a chance. That's like public humiliation for as long as you have that name.
Oh, what about just like...
I mean, if I had that name, I'd be really trying to steer people away from the anime, because then they'd find out. I was like, it's a coincidence.
You would
my uncle is Japanese.
You could change your middle name to a normal name.
I could be like Kiri, or I could change my middle name's Peter.
Yeah, you could just go by Pete.
Or I'd go by Peter.
Oh, okay, sorry. Is Pete too uncool for you?
Well, my dad's called Pete, and therefore it seems like a bit of an adult name.
What's just like a really like just old fashioned name? What about like
Steven?
Steve? Nice. I know some good Steve.
Actually, that's true. Steve is more old fashioned.
Steve is like a 40-year-old man who works in graphic design.
Steve is my uncle.
Does he work in graphic design?
No, but he was the sort of guy who does.
Exactly. There's a certain breed of Steves.
What's another like
Like
well,
Bobbert.
my younger brother's called Wilfred, but that's
Wilfred.
traditionally quite an old man name.
Yeah, like the guy from Doctor Who. He's like an
Exactly.
old man, like an old soldier.
Wilfreds are all over, like they're like under 5 or above 70.
You just think they like spawn in, like they don't actually get born or like age. They just spawn in as like old men.
Nigel.
Nigel.
You don't get
You don't
many
want to be
young
associated.
Nigels, do
You
you?
don't want to be associated with Nigel. I don't think anyone's called their child Nigel. since
Making plans for
Brexit
Nigel.
happened.
Oh, that's true actually. Yeah, well, I mean, political leaders are surely a gold mine for kind of boring old names.
Boris. Would you change your first name to Boris for £10,000?
No, 100,000.
There was someone at NCS. There's a bit of a
Who
segue.
went by Boris?
He went by Boris Johnson.
You said this in the last one, yeah.
Did I? Despite his first name neither being Boris and his
Nor
last
Johnson.
name not being Johnson. But surprisingly, everyone at NCS, all the quote unquote like cool kid roadmen who you'd expect to be like pricks, were really nice, and it was actually the bitter losers that you had to be worried about because they'd be the ones that'd be like,
I think that's
I deserve
actually
to win.
surprisingly the way a lot of the time.
But like, I don't know. It's in like middle school, the cool kids would be like, we got the cool kids. Wah.
Yeah, because middle school applies to the rest of
I'm
life.
not. I'm just saying the
I got
trend.
bullied
now.
in middle school.
And then like high school, it was kind of the case with like the cool kids
There
being
was
the
a lot of
douchebags.
cool road, man.
Yeah, and then now that we're out of there, it's like
Now
the
it's-
cool guys are like have realised the error of
Now
their ways.
I'm the cool guy.
Now
basically.
I'm the captain. No.
I'm the King Cool. I'm like King Cruel
Cruel.
or King K. Rule, of which King Cruel is based.
No one knows who King Cruel is. Go Google
People
King
know.
Cruel.
People know who
he's a
King
musical
Cruel
artist.
is.
I don't know.
You don't know who.
I think one of his songs is good
because
because you
you're
put it on.
out of the loop. Yeah,
Oh,
it's probably Dumb Surfer. That's a good song.
Okay. Anyway, segue. NCS.
Segue. You're an expert at this.
NCS. I did NCS. I was going to say we. You did not do NCS.
No, I can't be asked to do that.
What did you do in your week alone?
Oh shit. I played Catopoly again. That's Monopoly with cats.
Oh. Alright, well I went to NCS. And it was really fun. This time we did a residential at
You weren't
university.
camping,
I wasn't camping. Last week was camping. This week was a residential.
You were camping ... in a university.
I mean, I brought a suitcase. If that's any
I brought a
indication.
suitcase.
Yeah.
Alright, Will from The Inbetweeners.
Oh, my favourite reference.
Have you not seen it?
I've seen one of the films. Anyway,
It's really good.
aside,
The films aren't as good.
NCS week 2, activity-wise, it was very boring. But
Sounds thrilling.
the thing is, my team, DECRA, Detroit Emergency Kangaroo Rescue Association, was great. Like, I would consider everyone in that team to be like a friend of mine, which is
I'm
actually
going to get
quite shocking.
replaced by Decra.
It's a 15... Oh, so yeah, we're going to have 15 people come on the podcast and you're going to get, like, snapped out of existence.
You could get each individual member of Decra on here. That would be a real kind of... The Chronicles of Decra. You know, every day of Christmas, another member of Decra.
One of the members is one of the people who changed their surname to an anime character.
Oh.
Oh, exactly. Doesn't that make it more exciting? Doesn't that make it more
Don't
exciting?
say who it is.
I
but
won't. They'll know.
Give everyone's first name and last name for like every podcast you do with all the members.
And then eventually you get to the one that's like,
Yeah.
like Jared Kirito.
Vote now on your phones. Winner gets a prize.
But I genuinely like all the members of my team.
That's
like,
good.
Which was actually
It
quite a
caused
surprise.
friction if you hated them all.
Well, that's the
It
thing.
must be like joining high school again in year 8 and
Yeah.
having that whole like class of pals, and it's like, man, this is a happy time before the big misery sets in.
Or the schism. But
It's like a series of unfortunate events.
yeah, it was really odd. Like, obviously, in the other teams, there were people who like didn't like each other, and there were like kind of cliques within the teams. But our team was just one big happy team, and like we were friends outside of activities, and we hung out outside of activities, and we played Manhunt just randomly. Like, it was actually
As you do.
genuinely.
Random
Quite
game
fun.
of Manhunt.
But it was good. It was good that we were all friends because, by God, it was boring.
I'm jealous of friends. But more so having that kind of group of friends that you do stuff with. Because I remember that from year 8 and year 9.
Aww.
And I really liked it at the time.
Oh, Harry, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright, Harry.
I think possibly
your back's really sweaty.
It's really hot in here. We had to shut the window.
It's so hot. The background noise with the windows open.
Part of the problem with high school, I think, is you spend too long with the same people, so eventually you end up hating most of them.
Oh, God. If you're from my high school,
which you are,
I personally hate you. That's not true.
All of you. I hate every single one.
Especially Harry.
Oh. I'm gonna hope that's another Harry, you know. We know loads of them.
Well, yeah, we know like 3.
There was like 3 or 4 at our middle school, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was also weird. 3 or 4 at our high school. But anyway...
Yeah, but we didn't know them as much.
We're getting sidetracked once again.
Oh, this is clinical, this episode. Oh. Boom, boom, boom. Moving from one topic to another.
I just want to... No,
we're down the list.
We're still on NCS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Because the activities, and when I mean they were god-awful, I mean they were god-awful. And
there's got to be some kind of NCS organiser listening to this.
They were boring.
Crying.
They were so boring. It was such entry-level rubbish. It was like... mental health, and then we had a 3-hour session on mental health, and you know,
which ironically is enough to do with anyone's mental health.
Which interestingly I learned nothing from, because it was the most obvious thing in the world. It was like, if someone's lonely and they're not invited to do things and they don't have friends, they might feel upset, and that might negatively affect their mental health. Now draw a poster about how being alone can affect someone's mental health.
Describe what the emotion anger is. Use pictures.
There was another one that was politics, and ooh is what I didn't think, because I thought, oh God, and as I should have, because it was the most boring thing in the world. Because you know what I know, and it's not boring in the normal way that politics is boring. It was boring in the Labour is left wing, Conservative is right wing. Now put that on a line.
Remember we had that like English lesson. Where we had to learn about politics, so we had a basic understanding for the text we did for GCSE. People really struggled to get it. They were like, Conservatives are communist. It's like, no. It's really like not that difficult, the primary stuff. I mean, the primary difference between the left and right is tax. Left want tax higher.
I really don't.
Right want tax lower.
I don't care. And neither does
in my
anyone
opinion.
Listening. Alright, good. We're going to keep talking about this. So, in the session... There was like a first session in like a big conference room, and then there was a second session in a classroom kind of room. And the first session, there was on one end of the room was agree, and on the other end of the room was disagree. And they would say certain statements, and you had to go stand with either agree or disagree.
That sounds cool.
And the thing was, I looked around the room, and Elliot looked around the room. No, Elliot?
Elliot, I think so. Is this Alina's Elliot?
Yes.
Yeah, I know him. Nice guy.
I think Elliot also looked around the room, and he saw that there were probably a lot of Labour supporters in the room. You ever get that vibe from someone like you, that they're a Labour supporter?
Is it the kind of smell and the messy hair?
And they're like dyed hair.
And the fact that they're under 20.
And they're like the 3
dyed
nose
hair.
piercing.
You think I've got dyed
and
hair? I've
like,
got mine's all natural, and you know it.
The 3 nose piercings and like the chin and like the tongue piercing, like the very left wing people. This is coming from someone who's left wing. Oh, even though this isn't political.
You've just alienated all of our right wing viewers.
Far right viewers.
The entire pack of Brexit Party supporters that watch this are going to hate us now.
Anyway, despite also agreeing with these people, bold of you to assume Ryan watches this. Despite agreeing with these people, me and Elliot were like, nah. Let's be the devil's advocate. So whatever they said, we went on the other side of.
Which means you ended up as like staunch Tories.
We were hoping so, but it was really boring statements. Like, I wish it was that interesting, but it was really boring statements like politics is for old people and what was the other one? It was politics is for old people.
Which is a stupid statement.
And I stood by agree. I think you'll find.
Did anyone else stand by agree except for Elliot?
No. It was just me and Elliot and potentially just one random person
who's just an idiot
and
I had up for a laugh.
I had to argue
or
my point.
paying so little attention. He's like, huh? You had to argue a point. How was that?
Well, I just said, well,
Well, technically,
as much as it should be for the youth.
Oh.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where it's not, and it's like the most obvious like.
That was well argued, though.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna go on the dumb side, but I'm gonna argue it well.
Your goal was to try and convince people of the stupid argument.
But unfortunately, there wasn't anything like the rich should be taxed more that I could go and like disagree for. It was all very like boring.
Well, there's a lot of people who disagree with that, but
yeah, it was like very objective truths more than like. Oh, another one was general elections are always on Thursdays, which is true.
yeah,
And
but
that's not an opinion.
Sound
That's
true.
not an agree or a disagree. That's just a true or false.
General elections are always on a Thursday. Disagree? Why would you put disagree? Well, not in all countries.
But
Got 'em.
How do you know the reason for that?
Why?
Because Thursdays used to be the days that the markets closed early.
So everyone could get off and vote.
Everyone was I remember it was market day on Thursdays. Now it's on Wednesday in our town, I believe. But market day would always be on Thursdays generally across the country, and so people would go to the markets, and then while they were there, they would also go and vote because they'd have to go. Because remember, people would live in like hamlets and villages at the time, so they'd have to go into a major town for the markets. And
Thursday's quite a good choice, though. I mean, you have the whole week building up to that, where you can kind of get through the weekdays by looking at political news and entertaining yourself.
And then you also have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to mull over the decision of the country.
Sunday, you know, if it was on Sunday, then all the Christians would be outraged. Friday and Saturday, people are not going to not vote because they want to go and get pissed. But, you know, it's a good day for it. I stand by the Thursday decision.
They also said it was so business owners could think about the decision over the weekend.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, which is fair. But yeah, NCS was really good. The rooms were really nice. I had a room to myself. It was like a hotel kind of room. It's a university accommodation, but it felt like a hotel room.
Was it like just you in your room?
It was just me.
That's crazy, man.
And there was free Wi-Fi. And it was great. The whole
absolute luxury.
It was a good experience, and they had a Costa on the site which charged £3.25 for a wrap, and I was just like, you know what, I'm alright. It was a pre-packaged wrap. It was hoisin duck, and I really wanted it. And then I looked at £3.25, and I looked at like the tiny wrap.
And then you realised it was a hoisin duck wrap, and thought, no,
I'm not a vegetarian. Harry.
I mean, I am a vegetarian, but even if I wasn't, I would still be wary about hoisin duck wraps.
What's wrong with hoisin duck? It's great.
Well, I mean, let's just stop to appreciate the fact that neither of us know how to pronounce the word hoisin. Hoisin.
Hoisin.
Hoisin.
Hoisin.
It's French now. It's like what? It's, East Asian. But nah, just doesn't sound like my street.
What is up your street? Are we going to go down the notes list? Me and
Let's
Harry
not go down my address.
Me and Harry keeps going down the notes list. So whenever we come to like the end of a topic, we'll look at the notes list. And so far,
glaring at the notes,
ignoring events of the Cold War.
Yeah, I mean, which we need to get onto at some point
because we
missed that out.
Forgot about it last week.
That was a tragedy.
We're actually going down it in order. So now we're on Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, which I've seen, and that.
Wait! Before anything else, I want to say this is a spoiler-free zone because I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, so I'm going to limit my.
So you can watch, you can listen along and not fear for spoilers.
I mean, at the start you mentioned that I spat some gum into a cinema ticket.
And that was the Spider-Man film?
Yeah, I found it in my pocket.
So clearly it was a very important film to you that you'd like to savour the memory of.
Well, I liked the film. It doesn't mean I need to keep the cinema ticket and frame it and stick it on my wall.
I feel like spitting a bit of gum into it is getting disrespectful though.
And just shred on it, yeah. Piece of shit. No, I really liked Homecoming, so I was excited for it. And I thought it was pretty good. My brother hasn't seen Homecoming, but is convinced that Far From Home is better than Homecoming. I don't think.
Is he the same one? Oh, of course, it's the same one. It's not going to be your little brother, but
it's not going to be my 5-year-old brother.
Yeah, is it the same one who has said that Rick and Morty is like the height of comedy, like the peak of comedy?
Yeah, and this was before
ever.
It started cringing everyone out. And then he said to me later on, he was like, "I'm not going to lie, I think you were a bit early on the whole Rick and Morty starting to cringe me out thing." And because he really pushed me to that, I was like, God, I'm sick of Rick and Morty. I mean, there's nothing that wrong with it.
It's a good show.
But like many things, the fan base is difficult. No,
Spider-Man
Far From Home. I didn't think it was quite as good as Homecoming, but I still thought it was pretty good. Mysterio.
I don't know if we can talk about this, because as much as I know what's going to happen because of the comics, and you know what's happened because you watched the film, I don't know if other people have, and that's weird. There are people that are going into this with so little knowledge of
me,
what they're watching.
I had absolutely no knowledge about the kind of comic stuff, even though I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and which meant that every twist and turn was a delightful shock to me.
So it's a film full of twists, turns, and delightful shocks.
Yeah, sponsored by Spider-Man.
Sponsored by Marvel. Please sponsor us.
I mean, in terms of films though, the other one that's out recently is the film Yesterday, which I haven't seen.
Is that the one with the dude who wakes up and he's got all the Beatles songs?
Yeah, exactly. The world doesn't remember Beatles, but he does. So he releases them all as his own and gets successful. I haven't seen it, but I want to see it because I like the Beatles. And at work earlier, we had the Beatles playlist on the whole day, which meant for about 7 hours straight, I listened to the Beatles. The
notes page has the Beatles - I listened to 7 hours.
I mean, really, I should have just left out context about work there and just went, well, I listened to 7 hours of the Beatles.
That just makes you look like a freak.
Well, you just nothing else, right? It's Beatles time.
You just sat there with like a vinyl record player, just like
jamming out to some Beatles. No. There's this guy that always comes in the shop and talks to us, and he talks to us about music, and he's an optician in the optician's place next door.
That's why it's got the optician next door.
Yeah.
I thought that was the name of another film.
He's a really nice guy, and he knows us so well. When he comes in, he's like, alright guys, there's a chat to us. And he came in and was like, oh, what are you guys thinking about this Yesterday film? I think he heard the Beatles on the speaker. And I went, oh, I haven't seen it, but I want to see it. What about you? And he was like, oh, I think it looks shit, if I'm honest. He said he didn't think that the Beatles, if they were released today, would be successful, which I think is true.
That's what I was thinking about it, because I was thinking, as much as it's about the music itself, it's also about the advertising and like the audience.
Well, it's not just that, it's kind of... People will be listening to it going, where's the rap? And this is not good for kind of disco music. But then it kind of doesn't make sense because the music that people are into today
is strongly influenced.
Wouldn't exist if the Beatles hadn't kind of, created modern pop music. So it doesn't really make sense, but I feel like I'm going to like it because... it's just entertaining to watch a movie where someone knows something that nobody else knows.
It's kind of
like got one up on everyone
because it's like it's kind of like a time travel film, but without any of the time travel crap.
Yeah, sure. and it's kind of that fantasy of like suddenly having like god powers of being the so-called greatest musician ever, whilst actually having done nothing. So that's Harry's
goal for life.
Yeah, except I spend multiple hours a day on it because I'm such a saddo.
And what do you have to show for it? An album, perhaps?
No.
I'm trying to segue onto the next topic and Harry's refusing.
I've got an EP, but the topic he's trying to segue onto, which is next on the list.
We're going in order. Cooking skills is next. You better be ready for that.
But before cooking skills is goals for the summer, which my goal is to write an album. I want to expand my EP into an album rather than write an entire kind of 15 new songs. So and 15 seems like a lot for an album, but I tend to write quite short songs. So if I've got an album of like 2-minute songs, then there needs to be a lot of them.
It's like Arctic Monkeys. Why do you only call me when you're high is like 2 minutes, despite it being one of my favourite songs.
Yeah.
And everyone's favourite song.
I think
it's a radio song.
I think as well, like Crackety Jones by Pixies, like 1.5 minutes. Normalization, Parquet Courts, 1.5 minutes, something like that. Really good songs, but just they're short. I think really the thing you should go with for songs is short and sweet, because if something in your song should have gone on longer, then people can always listen to it again, which really just means that you're hooking people in. It's like going back to the Beatles for a moment. Hey Jude, 7 minutes long. Trim it down, make it 4 minutes, something like that. Much better. All I'm saying is, I'm better than the Beatles.
I'm trying to think of a song that I know. It's like a 6-minute song and it's really good, but it's just so long.
My favourite song ever is Paranoid Android, which is just over 6 minutes.
Oof.
And it needs to be 6 minutes because it's got like 3 separate
Is it
parts.
the Bohemian Rhapsody of indie music?
I guess, but Radiohead's so big now, it's like almost barely indie. But I'm not like... There are other bands I'm more a fan of than Radiohead, but my favourite song is still by Radiohead, because Paranoid Android is so good.
Do you want to hear my plans for the summer, Harry, before you look at the notes list, like the...
I was glancing...
segue that you
I was glancing...
My goal for the summer, slightly less, like... career oriented, although I do want to do
Mine's
more.
not really career oriented.
Making an album is a career.
Well, my dad's written an album, and he's a probation officer, and I'm not sure the two are strictly linked.
Depends what he's writing the album about.
Can't write about any of the offenders. That's against confidentiality.
It's like male in the 20s.
No. It was a love song. It wasn't anything about my sex offenders.
But of course, I want to keep up with I want to start voice acting volunteering, which I kind of have to after NCS. So there's another 2 weeks of NCS, which is like social action, and then I'm done. So I'll be doing voice acting volunteering then. But my slightly more me-oriented goal for the summer is getting a six-pack.
You big healthy man. So that is in many ways a much better goal than writing an album because it's healthy.
Harry, I'm sure you can relate. I've never had a six-pack in my life, and it's very upsetting.
I'm sure. I have a six-pack. I just never ever take my shirt off, so no one can ever see.
Oh, it's like Schrodinger's pack.
I've got loads of spots on my back, so you know that's
good to know.
That's the real reason to not want to take your shirt off.
Schrodinger's back.
Schrodinger's backpack. It's a six-pack on your back,
but
not a rucksack.
To aid me in this.
You got this up on your lap table.
My laptop, which is under the table.
You got this up on your laptop earlier, and I was like, "The hell is that?" It's a timetable for your regular life, and it's not like work or school. It's just kind of like wake up.
It's for the summer.
Go for a run, drink some water, drink 710 milliliters of water.
My bottle is 710 milliliters. Just want to make that clear.
Freak. And then it's like breathe in, breathe out. Do podcast. I'm looking at it now. You've got it up there.
I've got it up. I mean, let me just read you my Monday schedule.
Sleep for quite long periods of time.
So, from midnight to 9, I'm asleep. If you hear background noise, that's my dear mother. From midnight to 9, I'm asleep. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to get up and run. And then for like a 30-minute run.
And then drink 710
And then drink 710 milliliters.
So to reiterate, if he drinks 710 milliliters of water and then goes for a run, he's done it wrong.
Okay.
It's a strict sequence. Nothing matters more than the order.
Hopefully I'll get back. It'll be 15 minutes like along the seafront, because I live by the seafront, and then 15 minutes back. And then by 10:30, that's my scheduled shower. Obviously it doesn't have to be on the dot. And then at 11, I've got an hour of free time.
How generous for you to allow yourself that.
I mean, I've got free time, a lot of free time actually. And at 12 o'clock, I've got lunch and drink 710 mils because I skip lunch most days just because I'm too lazy. So I think that's good to like have on the schedule. Also, I want to be drinking.
I don't really drink breakfast, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All big smoothies. I just kind of eat meals when I get the chance and when I want to.
That's fair, but I want to schedule it, so ha. From 1 then until 6, I've got free time. Then I've got dinner and drink 710 mils of water. And then I've got some weight stuff I want to do.
Oh, big man.
I mean, I used to have a lot more muscles on my arms, and now they've degraded severely.
Well, you did like boxing and stuff, didn't you?
Well, I did that for a bit, and then my parents wanted me to stop getting beaten up, so I just started doing weights.
But it wasn't the boxing when you were getting beaten up. It was being such a loser.
So yeah, GCSEs kind of destroyed my physique. Now I'm just a kind of pathetic, weak man, but I can fix that.
Well, I'm a pathetic, weak man, but it's more in terms of personality.
Aww.
In terms of physical strength, I don't need to do this because of my six-pack that I've already got.
And then from 8:30 to 11 o'clock is when I've got more free time, and then at
Lucky man.
11 o'clock I'm going to sleep. So that
that's like strict every 11, lights off.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they say.
Sleep.
You
that
need
is healthy.
You need like a good sleep.
You've got like 11 hours of sleep on there though.
10 hours.
10 hours. That's still quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's the recommended amount. And the thing is,
it's not, right?
I've got like pretty.
7.
I'm gonna be honest. I've got like pretty bad acne. But what I found is that when I get consistent sleep and I get a lot of it, it improves dramatically. So having a consistent sleep schedule where I'm getting 10 hours of sleep a night is definitely going to help with that.
I was walking along the beach one day, and then a ghost appeared to me, and it said, "I'm going to make you a deal, pal. You're never going to have any acne on your face anymore. That's that bad.
But you'll have freckles.
But you'll have terrible spots all over your back. It gets all transferred to your back." And I shook the deal with the demon. and that's how I've ended up in my current situation.
I would take that deal.
Because I don't have that much acne on my face, but on my back is a bad one. As I was telling that falsified story, I realised I said never have any acne on my face, which is not true. Sometimes I have real bad spots, but it's not an epidemic like it is.
I feel like because
on
of
my back.
This is actually an interesting point.
Shut
Because
the fuck up.
no, because of I didn't mean that your point wasn't interesting.
This one's actually entertaining.
I was gonna say like a tiny little point, and I was like, this is actually an interesting conversation. I feel like people overestimate how bad they look and how much people judge them for like acne and like other like things that might be slightly.
You're making everyone that has acne and can't help it cry right now.
I've got acne, I can't help it.
You've not got that much acne.
Not anymore. Oh,
brag. Not anymore.
Well, it's not acne, it still exists.
I look far better than I ever did.
It's not as bad, but the thing is it was pretty bad, and I would be really upset about it. But no one cares. That's the thing. No one except you cares.
My kind of attitude to spots is like, they're gonna go away eventually. Because my mother's like, you can get loads of kind of spot cream and tablets and stuff. You got to do this or it's gonna scar you for life, which I think technically can happen, but the chances.
That's if you like scratching.
Yeah, people have like survived for thousands of years. Not one person living thousands of years, but different people have survived for thousands of years, not having loads of spot cream and tablets, and they've all been basically fine. Except
we don't need those
except
vaccines.
The ones that died.
From like smallpox.
Oh, the ones that died will be the ones that died of vaccines. Side note, I watched half of a Flat Earth documentary last night, and loads of the people on it were also anti-vax. Who would have guessed it?
It's a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, it's gullibility.
But I feel like there's this big idea that it's like you kind of have to look perfect, otherwise everyone's going to hate you. But no one cares. As long as you're not a prick, no one cares.
Yeah, for example, I don't look perfect, and also everyone hates me. But the two facts are completely uncorrelated.
Exactly, they're isolated. It's not correlation.
Like me.
It's not causation, and it's not like a cause and an effect. It's just a coincidence.
Remember, correlation, causation is not causation, correlation, as the philosophers say.
I don't know what the hell you just said, but yeah,
it was a really sophisticated statement.
For the summer, I'm sure it was. For the summer, my goal is to get ripped and do more voice acting, and Harry's goal is to make an album, nerd.
When did writing rock music become nerdy?
When did writing rock music become nerdy?
When I'm...
Oh, if only you could see Harry's face right now.
When I'm playing on the road with my back guitar...
When you're playing on the road, what, homeless?
On the road between my tournaments, cross country, with all my mega fans, right?
Okay.
Who will be laughing then?
Me.
Not me, because like all successful musicians, I'll be depressed.
You'll do drugs and like shoot yourself in the head.
But luckily, since I'm not going to be a successful musician, I won't be depressed.
Woo!
And I won't shoot myself with a shotgun.
Does that mean you're a really successful musician for like most of high school?
that was a cruel one. Maybe, I mean, it's kind of got me into it, I imagine.
There we go.
The next topic is cooking skills, because we're going to talk about our cooking skills, brackets, or lack thereof. That's not actually on the notes, but it should be. What are your cooking skills, Sam?
I can follow a recipe. And I feel like anyone can follow a recipe. That's the thing about cooking.
Wowza.
Cooking's easy because anyone can follow a recipe. Baking's hard. But I want to...
Baking is easier than cooking.
Cooking
is like high intensity. Like, shit, I've got to fry this stuff and I've got to take it off before it burns. Baking is like, you get it all done in advance and you just whack it in the oven for 2 hours.
Hear me out. Baking, you need precision. Cooking, you need timing. It's like Kobe versus Yeet. It's like...
I'm sorry, Kobe versus yeast, am I right?
Okay, it's like accuracy and power. Accuracy versus power, right? With baking, if you mess something up, it's messed up, right? With cooking...
It's difficult to mess something up with baking, though. I mean, sure, all the milk can curdle, but that always happens to me, and it's always basically fine.
With cooking, you just...
Except all the illnesses.
you just whack everything in like a pan, and you fry it up. And then you got something. It's
got something.
But that's the point. It's
charcoal.
Hard. It's hard to go wrong with cooking, whereas it's hard to...
I think it's the opposite. I mean, my baking skills is like... I can make cakes. I've made lemon cakes a lot of the time. I think I can make a pretty good lemon cake, mostly because I put in about 4 times the lemon that any recipe tells me. They're like
a whole lemon.
They're like
in there?
In the actual cake, they're like, oh, only put in lemon zest, and it's like bullshit. I'm putting in pure juice to this, and then you absolutely soak it with a glaze. And
a lemony lemon
cake.
cake.
So it can
I think I've
through.
tried your lemon cake. It's really good.
Thank you. I gave one to Jazz on her birthday.
Yeah, I think she might have let me have a bit or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best time to eat it is like when I cooked it like an hour ago, because then it's still like wet with lemon. But no, it's probably still good the next day. But that's probably the best thing I can make. I made a chocolate cake as well. I didn't have a recipe for it. I basically just did my lemon cake, but replaced all the lemon with
chocolate juice.
it was actually had no chocolate in it. Only had cocoa powder.
Ooh.
But yet it tasted and looked like a chocolate cake. Worked pretty well. Brought it into school the next day because I couldn't finish it. It's amazing how many friends you make when you bring chocolate cake in.
Chocolate cake.
That was part of a cooking competition / baking. That was me, my sister, and her boyfriend. We kind of all made cakes at the same time, and then kind of shoved them in the oven when there was space. And then we showed all of our cakes, but we didn't say whose was whose.
To the Great British Bake Off.
To our mum, our brother, and they ranked them, and then we had a winner out of the 3 of our cakes.
And who was it?
The winner, I think, was my sister.
Well, okay, it wasn't you then, because you would know if it was you.
And I came second.
Oh, nice.
And I think her boyfriend was a distant third.
A distant? How badly did you mess up that cake?
Well, he didn't use. He bought chocolate.
He didn't use flour.
He bought chocolate bars rather than cocoa, and I bought a chocolate bar too. I thought maybe I'll use the chocolate bar and the cocoa. I'll use both of them somehow. I've never really made a chocolate cake. Now how this works. And when I realised I'd never got the chocolate in, I was like, oh, you can have my bar too as well if you want. So he had so much chocolate, he put loads in the cake and then melted loads over the top and like stuck bits of chocolate in. And it ended up in this kind of jarry, messy chocolate feast that somehow neither looked nor tasted that nice.
Tasted of chocolate.
I mean, the kind of... The motivation to create a good chocolate cake was clearly there because there was a lot of chocolate in it, but it somehow didn't turn out that well. The other time we did a similar thing was we all made pizzas at the same time and had a bit of a competition.
Did you use pita bread or did you use real pizza? Because I've made so many pizzas with just like pita bread and like tomato sauce.
We had to make the dough as well. Okay. It was a full pizza competition.
Didn't realise you were a Puritan.
If you're not making the dough, then you're just putting toppings on.
Exactly, that's the best bit. You just add like cheese.
Yeah,
and
but
pepper.
this was like a cooking competition. This was, who can create the best pizza, not who can put on the best toppings, And I think mine was a bit burnt for that. Second or third, I came.
That's unfortunate.
But that was.
I want to learn how to cook for college. I want to have like one dish that I can reliably do.
Pasta.
Yeah, like.
Pasta is all you need.
Spaghetti and meatballs. And
we talked about the Beatles earlier.
Sauce.
The song "Love Is All You Need." It's actually "Pasta Is All You Need." It's the original version. It's what's going on my album. It's "Pasta Is All You Need."
Okay. On the topic of food,
I've been talking about.
Harry's main topic for today is the intelligence of animals.
That's offensive to me as a vegetarian. I don't like it when you talk like that. I want to talk about intelligence of animals because I was reading recently about gorillas because I was thinking, well, exactly how much can we communicate with gorillas? Because obviously there's like sign language and stuff, and gorillas can be taught to use like hundreds of sign language symbols, and like the weird thing about them is like how human they seem. Like I know there's a kind of fact somewhere that like gorillas are about the intelligence of like a 4 or 5 year old child, I think, which is like pretty insane when you think about it, because 4 or 5 year old children are not only pretty intelligent and you can have a good conversation. They can have a conversation,
they just don't know what they're talking about. Oh god, I've killed him. Oh no.
It was your comment about animals.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, no, but also we really value the life of like a 5-year-old, but monkeys and stuff are really undervalued, I think. But no, they can say really like emotional things. Like I saw one story about one of the kind of people that talked to the gorilla went away for a while to have a child, but the child was stillborn, and they came back to talk to the gorilla, and the gorilla started getting really annoyed at them for going away for so long, and the trainer said like, oh, I had a child but it died. He signed that, and the gorilla signed back like oh, that's sad, and then gestured crying. But even though gorillas don't cry in the same way humans do, but the gorilla knew where it would be on a human. That's pretty crazy.
That's quite profound, isn't it?
And they also can make jokes. Like, I saw this story of this gorilla kept pointing at this like red tarp and going, blue, it's blue, and the trainer kept saying, you know better than that, it's not blue. And then after a while the gorilla went over to it and picked this tiny bit of fluff off it that was blue and pointed to it and went, look, it's blue. And they've been winding him up the whole time because they knew that the trainers were kind of really like pernickety about getting the right colour, obviously, because they wanted to teach the gorillas, you know, which colour was which. So, I mean, they've got a good sense of humour as well.
God, girls are a lot smarter than I gave them any credit for.
Exactly, and
can't wait to cook one up.
and chimps, you know, are I think about the same intelligence. Gorillas are potentially smarter. I think really smarter than both of those are dolphins.
Dolphins are like scarily intelligent,
but like they're potentially clever in a different way, and or at least we can't.
They're fish, so we can't really.
We can't communicate with them. Yeah,
we can't give them like block puzzles to do because they just float around.
I mean, gorillas like basically big furry people. I mean,
big furry
smaller
dumb
than
idiots.
Us, but, yeah, exactly. But I mean, obviously, dolphins are so different to us, but they exhibit really intelligent things. Like, I know one of the key things that like quite a broad array of intelligent animals do is they recognise themselves in mirrors.
Octopi as well are supposed to be like dumb smart, like stupid smart. As in like they are very insanely smart.
If octopus is singular,
octopi,
and octopi is plural, then why does the singular have us and the plural have I?
I know this is Latin. Latin, an us ending is singular, whereas an I ending is plural.
For example,
there's like this Latin wind spirits are called ventus. Like one of them is called ventus, and then if you refer to a group of them, as I commonly do in conversation, you would say that venti.
Venti. Yeah, but you're always referring to venti.
Oh, always.
But dolphins, they recognise themselves in mirrors, and something else they've been recorded doing is saving humans from drowning.
Oh, that's clever. That's
because
nice. That's
I mean,
nice.
Obviously humans try and save animals, but animals generally don't try and save anything but their own species.
Except dogs.
Dogs, of course, are like obsessive and loyal little things that we've like bred to love us more than anything else in the world.
Bless dogs.
God bless America and God bless dogs.
Land of the dogs.
That's Kazakhstan, land of dogs. But yeah, they help humans, which is a weird thing to think about because you don't think of animals as helping humans generally, like saving their life. They're usually just concerned about their own species, like as a whole. Obviously, when a dog helps a human, it's usually the particular human they're attached to. But dolphins, as a species, like to help other animals, which is a weird thing. They also pass around fish on purpose, which they can get high off.
Oh yeah, pufferfish.
Yeah, and have sex for fun, which animals don't tend to do.
And yet you do anyway.
I'm a strict Christian and I find that offensive. But
what, calling you an animal?
But no, it's generally humans only, but dolphins.
Humans.
Humans.
I find humans quite repulsive.
What the fuck was that?
It's a robot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So have you got anything else to add about the intelligence of animals, or are you just going to sit there and let me talk?
I think hedgehogs are really stupid because they keep getting hit by cars.
Yeah, I think they're pretty stupid because they're almost extinct. So
hedgehogs are going
extinct. If they had any smarts to them, they would have vamooshed by now.
hedgehogs are so stupid and they're going extinct because they cross a road.
They're very difficult to breed and they're like too lazy to procreate. And our English teacher was like, pandas should just die out. If they're so rubbish, they shouldn't be.
I got the impression our English teacher was like willing to go out and hunt them for sport.
She was like really vehemently against the survival of pandas.
If she had a button that just immediately made all pandas extinct. I genuinely think she would have pressed
And
it.
we're like, no, the habitat's being destroyed. She's like, oh, come on, they're rubbish. We just think they're cute. They should have died out a long time ago. You know, I mean, they've survived up to now, haven't they? But don't they need to eat like so much bamboo?
Well, yeah, because it's like sticks.
Oh yeah,
So
it's got like no nutrients.
Yeah,
in.
so they have to eat like loads of
It's
it.
really good building material, bamboo. And some
And it grows quickly.
bamboo can grow like a metre in a day.
Mm.
And it's also like poisonous, I think.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind
Really?
when I'm munching on some bamboo.
Yeah, you shouldn't munch on bamboo, but you can also
Oh, damn it.
build
too
a
late.
house out of it.
Next one
Let's
in line.
skip that one.
Challenge runs in games.
Oh yeah, the other day when we were building up to the podcast, we watched just like a full. What was it that we watched? Oh, it was Minecraft.
Yeah, we watched some Minecraft.
Someone beat
like,
Minecraft in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it was like they had to beat the Ender Dragon was the goal, and it was on a random world, so they didn't know what was going to be there, and it was without using any cheats or any like helps or like any help or anything.
That was pretty impressive. We also watched a Zelda one, Ocarina of Time, which is a classic because Zelda ones are much better than Minecraft ones because they're just so glitchy.
For the Zelda one,
and they're just explaining it like, right, now what he's doing is he's hitting this wall 46 times, so the number gets pushed over by 46 IDs, and that means he beats Ganondorf.
Genuinely,
classic shit like that.
That's genuine. What happens? They manipulate the ID of like an item in a chest. So then when they pick up the item in the chest, it gives them a certain item, and then they can use that item to like manipulate
another thing.
Basically the part of the game that decides where you go when you go through a door.
Yeah.
And therefore they can make it so that when they go through the door, they just get teleported straight to the end of the game.
Yeah, and then the classic thing is like, even if they got to the end of the game, they would be scuppered at that point because they get there as child Link.
You have to be adult
But it
Link.
automatically assumes you're an adult. So even when you don't have the Master Sword, it knocks the Master Sword out of your hand and you can go and grab it. Which is, you know, lucky. I also love the thing from the Ocarina of Time run where he did this glitch and suddenly Link just kind of absolutely sped backwards, just slipping across the entire
jumped
world
over
like a big
a
block
fence.
of ice.
He jumped over a fence, then like rolled, and then when he finished the roll, he just like he went like 70 miles per hour running backwards.
Well, it wasn't even running; it was just he was just standing there perfectly still as he just slid backwards. It was just so much faster than anything else in the game. It's just hilarious to watch. And he just kept doing it for all the different areas, and it was because it was cut off a little bit of time. They were saying things on the speedrun like, "Oh, this is actually a really good shortcut. You could save about half a second."
Yeah, because it's such an old game and it's been optimized so much that like half a second is like really important.
Yeah, I mean, like the kind of level of optimization on the old ones is so crazy. It's supposed to be insanely frustrating to try and do those at all. We've got 2 minutes left. Two and a half minutes. Two topics.
Potential guest episodes. We might be having people on sometime. Potential guests.
Next week, even potentially. But don't count.
Don't count on that because it relies on someone's grandmother. So that'll be interesting.
Someone's grandmother's coming on the show.
Yeah.
Talk about bread and milk and what it was like in the old days.
So hopefully we'll have a guest on, and also
the final topic.
We're always uploading. Well, we try to record these on Sundays and also then upload them on Sundays. This is being recorded on a Saturday, not to date the video.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because tomorrow we're gonna watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, like getting a bunch of people around, watch the whole series 3,
in like
which I haven't seen.
one sitting.
Yeah, which is what I did for series 2. Well, you were there for that.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was when we started calling it Rangting.
Rangting.
I've forgotten why.
It's because if you pause at a certain point in the intro, it says Rangting.
Yeah, that's it.
And there's the classic
how
video.
stupid it is.
There's the classic video of me and Jazz like screaming Rangting because we like paused it at the right time.
That was a hell of a day. That was sit inside eating like really unhealthy snacks for like 9 hours. It was so sweaty. I got there in the morning, got out in the late evening.
Yeah, that was messed up.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, no. Hopefully as well, it will be less kind of sweaty and cramped than
this room right now.
And Stranger Things too. Isn't it like in your shed at the end of the garden?
Yes, we have. I have
remember when we did
a big shed.
The Christmas stuff.
Christian
stuff. Oh, that was good.
We had a big Christmas party where we played Mario Kart. It was great.
And we watched that movie, which wasn't as good.
The Nativity.
Yeah, but it was still fun. And then afterwards, we were like hanging around there, waiting for people to come back and that.
It was good. That was a good day.
Yeah, I mean, it was really the spirit of Christmas. It was like 2 days before Christmas or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was genuinely. It was like the 23rd. I think.
We weren't pissing about. It's none of this like 15th of December bullshit.
I haven't celebrated my birthday yet, and my birthday's on June 13th. I
said this before, but it's like my mum whose birthday's in January, and she celebrates it in July.
I'm gonna be having a party at some point this summer.
Just now,
probably.
say your whole address, time, and to see who turns up.
Just dox myself.
Dox yourself entirely, and you know.
Hi, my name is Samuel Zotler. I live at No.
You're giving your full name there, but to be fair, you do say
my channel name's
Samuel,
called Zotler,
and the channel's called Zotler,
and I refer to myself as Sammy Z.
Yeah, no, I think
I don't care about my name being doxed. It's just like I don't know how people do, so that's where
people
the
know
rule came
my
from.
middle name now.
Oh, people know your name's Peter. They're gonna get you.
Crazy. From now on, I'm gonna go by Peter. I'm not because unlike you, I'm not choosing to go by a worse name than I was born with.
Ouch. You know
Anyway,
what? Just like last episode, I'm gonna end this one feeling offended, hurt. Do you remember what you said about
Taco Bell?
Taco Bell. You said Taco Bell
Taco
was
Bell
better
is better than Nando's.
All right.
It's just much
Wait,
better.
favorite events of the Cold War. We almost missed it.
Castro is one of my favourites, even though
we've
he
already
was
done
racist.
that one. I really like Khrushchev. We've already done
he
that
was
on
a
Telegram.
dick.
Khrushchev was a bit of a prank. Gorbachev. Star Wars.
Prague Spring.
Okay, we'll do Star Wars next time. Prague Spring. What do you like about Prague Spring? What do you like about it?
I liked that it had a definitive good guy. It had Dubček. Even though he was a communist, he was trying to create democracy. He was trying to create communism with a human face, a new horizon for the world.
Did he get killed or imprisoned or something? How'd it end?
He got imprisoned. Well, because it was too radical for the USSR. And then Brezhnev, I think, came in and was like, "Hey, stop this, Dubček. It's a bit much." And Dubček was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll stop it." And they didn't stop it.
Power play.
Brezhnev came in, rolled the tanks in, and then Dubček, having saw what happened in Hungary, was like, "Guys, don't resist, or you'll just die." So then the USSR took over, and then after the USSR fell, everyone was like, "Hey, remember that guy called Dubček? He was really cool." And he joined one of the parties, and they made him like chair of the parliament.
That's really awesome. Thank you for watching the Impending Doom podcast.
And we hope you enjoyed that historical catch-up.
We remember to do the events of the Cold War topic, which is actually a reoccurring topic.
Is it reoccurring or recurring?
Who cares? That's my.
I think they're two separate words, and I just don't know what's going on there. You know, let's just end the episode before this gets back into.
That's a good idea.
Word specifications.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Welcome to my ASMR. Goodbye.
Okay, I personally hope you enjoyed this episode. Okay, no, ending that now.